Recent months, police and community leaders across several townships have reported a rise in extortion cases, targeting small businesses, construction sites, and even households. These are not random crimes, they follow a pattern, and they are spreading. Today, we explain why extortion is increasing in townships, what authorities say is driving it, and why this matters for public safety. Extortion typically involves criminals demanding so-called protection fees from shop owners, taxi operators, spaza shops, and construction projects. Victims are threatened with violence, damage to property, or disruption of business if they do not pay. Police data and recent court cases show that many of these instances are linked to organized local groups rather than isolated individuals. In some areas, victims are targeted repeatedly, making it difficult for businesses to operate normally. There are several factors contributing to the rise in extortion. First, high unemployment makes more people vulnerable to being recruited into criminal networks. Extortion requires little equipment but can generate steady income. Second, many victims are afraid to report cases. Witness intimidation and fear of retaliation make investigations difficult, allowing groups to operate for longer periods without arrest. Third, in some communities, criminals exploit gaps in local policing and slow response times. When arrests are delayed, extortion becomes normalized and spreads to more businesses. Fourth, organized crime networks often shift into extortion when other illegal markets become risky or less profitable. This makes extortion part of a broader criminal economy, not just a local problem. Police have launched specialized task teams in several provinces to focus on extortion and organized crime. Some cases are now prosecuted under organized crime legislation, which allows for heavier sentences if suspects are convicted. However, officials have acknowledged that investigations depend heavily on community cooperation and protected witnesses, which remains a major challenge. Extortion does not only affect individual victims. It increases prices for basic goods, discourages small business growth, and creates fear that affects entire neighborhoods. Over time, it weakens local economies and reduces trust in public safety institutions. That is why extortion is not just a criminal issue, but a community stability issue. As more cases move through the courts, the question will be whether prosecutions can disrupt these networks or whether communities will continue to carry the cost. This is a developing issue, and verified updates will follow as more court outcomes and police operations are confirmed.